But is the intense heat wave the entire state's been suffering through proof that there's enough strain on our power grid already, and that the goal of having more drivers ditch gas and plug in for power really isn't sustainable? Lots of folks confused about all this and looking for answers right about now. So we're turning to Tyson Eckerly, Deputy Director of Zero Emission Vehicle Infrastructure for GoBiz. That's the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. Tyson, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Literally and figuratively, you're kind of in the hot seat on this issue with this heat wave and leaning into this heat crisis. Governor Newsom stepped up to the mic to talk to Californians about conservation to protect what the state's power grid could deliver. About a week before that, he was touting the state's plan to end sales of new gas-powered vehicles by 2035. Is this heat wave a stark example of maybe why we can't do that? If we can't use our dishwashers in times like these, how can you have millions more people plugging in their cars to charge?
Well, it's really an opportunity to fix the grid in a lot of ways, right? So if you look at the zero emission vehicles and plugging in, what battery electric vehicles are is energy storage devices, right? So all we're asking is people not to use their large appliances, which includes vehicles, during peak hours. If they have to, they can, but it's helpful to avoid and charge during the night or during the day when we have more resource on the grid. And the exciting part about it is kind of what that really presents as an opportunity. And just using like the F-150 Lightning, for example, there's enough battery storage on site on board to power a house for about a week. And so you can use that to help offset the time and actually plug your vehicle back into your house to use power during the peak grid times.
So you're saying that if my F-150 Lightning, I think you said it was called, had already been fully charged, I can power my house with the car during this time?
That's right. That's right. That's the future we're building towards. So it's opportunities to actually build more resilience into our energy system, not less.
So it's not something I could do like tonight, but you say that's coming.
Not tonight.
Okay,
not tonight. So we're working through the systems and codes and standards there to make that all happen. But that's the some of the advantages, right? There's direct to the house. There's also the ability to put that energy back onto the grid if it's needed. But really, what we're asking is, if you can just avoid charging during those peak times, charge up other times, and you can drive during the peak hours, no problem. And you can also charge if you need to get somewhere. That's okay too. But it's just trying to shift that demand into outside of peak hours.
So I understand what's coming down the pike in terms of these really being used as energy storage devices and like working in other parts of your life. The governor has been, taking some heavy criticism nationally for this move to, kind of end gas car sales, and then also alternately in the following week telling people to not charge. Is it fair criticism, since technically we're not supposed to charge these cars during these same hours?
Well, most people don't have to charge during those same hours, so I think that that's an important distinction. It's also important to know that it's not just the state pushing forward. The auto industry is squarely behind this proposal as well, and so this is the future that we need to build to solve for climate. We can't afford to slow down, and that zero emission capability, it's not only out of the tailpipe, but we're also adding renewable electricity daily and weekly and monthly to the grid as we go, and so it's a huge opportunity to shift, from burning stuff to just consuming, zero emission energy.
If you don't already own one of these, you may not understand how often someone does need to charge a zero emission vehicle, an electric car. We know it's all dependent on how much you drive, but for example, if you were full up at the start of this heat wave, so now we're talking like a stretch of 10 days, could you have gone through this whole time without plugging in if you're just doing maybe 2 hours of commuting total a day and, kind of regular errands going back and forth? Or give us a sense of how long, a charge lasts on some of these.
Yeah, so you can round about, a lot of cars are about 250 miles. So my personal car, I plugged in before the heat wave and I have not plugged in since. It really depends on how much you drive. But it's also, we're just asking, if you drive and you commute, when you plug in your car, you can set your car to charge when you want it to charge. If you charge between the hours of 12 and 6 at night, you're not really negatively impacting the grid. It's just avoiding that charge during those peak hours. And so, but most people can go 2 or 3 days or even a week without having to plug in.
Alrighty, and we are just about out of time. I just have to get one clarification. Is we visited in February about the charging capacity across the state. How much has that increased since then?
So I guess maybe a good way to answer is just looking into the future. We're predicting by 2030, if there's about 5 million plug-in vehicles on the grid, that'd be about 7% of our annual demand. And at peak, we're estimated to be about 1% of the demand. So, and we are adding more and more chargers daily. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we're getting close to 100,000 chargers.
Okay, well, we will have to have you back to give us those exact numbers, because I know a lot of people are really thinking about that now. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.